Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Tomas sharing all my thoughts on fashion, lifestyle, and anything else that comes to mind. I'm here every Wednesday, so thank you so much for joining me this week. For today's video topic, I have something that is very controversial and very interesting that is happening in the luxury industry right now. You guys know what time it is. I feel like I haven't done a coffee chats with Tomas in kind of like a few weeks, so I'm really excited to kind of delve deeper into this topic. Today, we're going to be discussing all about dupes versus luxury. We are going to get into the heavy of it. I feel like there have been some latest fashion news that have kind of like made me worried for what is happening in the industry in relating to shopping and dupes. So we're going to get into that all in this video. As always, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram and make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the video and the channel. And let's get right into it because there's absolutely no time to waste. So last week there was some pretty sad news in the fashion industry that actually quite a few brands announced that they were just gonna cease operations immediately. They immediately closed. We have Mara Hoffman, The Vampire's Wife, Calvin Luo. But this just got me thinking that the fashion industry is completely effed up right now. I have my notes here and I wrote that I feel like the biggest thing that we have in the fashion industry that really doesn't make sense to me is that there is no good mid-tier brands that are not only kind of affordable but also great quality. When I say affordable but still really great quality, I'm thinking the likes of like Neely Lotan, Mara Hoffman. I know people really loved her. She was kind of a pioneer in the kind of sustainable fashion vibe of it. What we're really missing right now is great quality clothing that isn't really fast fashion, but isn't also breaking the bank. We all knew that after the pandemic, it became harder to run a successful, but also most importantly, profitable brand. Like if you guys have heard of the brand Proenza Schouler has been around for over 20 years. They have been publicly vocal about how the brand is quite literally not profitable at all. I think they said that there was 1 year back in like 2019 and then recently that the brand has kind of become profitable, but they were always kind of running on like a breaking even thing, which is sad because I think Proenza Schouler is one of the coolest brands out there. And for them to be running 20 years on basically just vibes and not making any money to me is like insane. I feel like one of the few successful brands right now that is a little bit mid-tier is probably like Acne Studios, even though their prices are kind of increasing lately, and Alexander Wang. I say whatever you want about Alexander Wang. Personally, I don't really like the brand at all, but their marketing tactics on Instagram and TikTok are kind of becoming a little bit more known. So I definitely think Alexander Wang is one of the few brands that is a little bit more successful right now. Same with like Marc Jacobs, even though I find Marc Jacobs to be quite affordable. You see like 42-year-old ladies that go to work and don't know anything about luxury and they're wearing Marc Jacobs bags. I wouldn't even call it a luxury brand. That's just like a contemporary brand that is for everybody. It's really, really difficult to become profitable in a brand when you have prices that are between like $400 to like $900. One, the competition doesn't help. I feel like, for example, the brand Commission. If you showed me a look from Commission and if you showed me a look from Wardrobe NYC, I couldn't tell you the difference, if I'm gonna be honest. There is too much competition. There is too much product that looks the same. Think about Mir Pali. He's always very vocal and transparent on his TikTok about how much it costs to produce a garment. You know, a dress that is $780 will probably cost like $230 to make. When there's so much product that is like not being bought, you have to mark it down, and then your like profit line gets hurt because it costs $230, but you're selling it for $400 when originally it was $780. You're not making any money. You have to pay the commission if you're selling out at a store. You have to pay your employees. You have to pay the marketing. So I think the industry right now is in a really, really big mess. What we're going to be left with is basically you can either shop at Prada or you can shop at Shein. I'm going to get into the topic of that right now, which is dupes versus luxury. Can you really blame when someone wants to buy the dupe of a Prada item or a Celine item? I mean, I am in no way supporting dupes or fakes basically, but in the land of like TikTok and promoting every single thing that you see and kind of like, I feel like TikTok really pioneered the like making mundane into content with everybody trying to be like an influencer. It's so increasingly easy to kind of just like find a dupe for everything that you don't want to pay for. There are brands that are in the business of doing dupes. I feel like Steve Madden basically recreates every designer shoe that has ever been created. I mean, Zara is always like a season behind from like what the designers put on the runway. Sometimes they exactly copy a dress or a look, like literally look by look. They just like outright copy it, which I think is like a little insane. Dupe culture is increasing because I frankly think a lot of people don't have money. I also think with the slowing down of the economy, people are going to be spending more money on experiences and going out. I know personally I would rather maybe go for dinner with friends and kind of enjoy that than like save those $100 and like pull it together to buy like a pair of shorts or whatever. You guys know, you guys watch this channel, you guys know that I'm pretty bougie, I'll be honest. Like, I love anything designer. I love my designer clothing especially, and I always feel like I have to save up to get the clothing that I want. Now that I'm a little older in the game, I feel like my wardrobe is pretty much filled, so I'm buying less and less. But I think if you're starting out and you make $65,000 a year, which is I think is a great amount. Would you really rather spend those $500 on a dress or spend $120 for a nice dinner with your friends? I just think that's how like the economy is kind of going right now. People are spending more money on experiences. I personally would rather save $6,000 to go on a trip to Europe versus use $6,000 on a Chanel bag, you know? Definitely think that brands are seeing the hurt of this. I know Burberry is really struggling right now, especially in Asia, and we all know that Asia is supposed to be the biggest kind of market for these luxury brands. I believe Burberry was down like 23%, which is crazy. Gucci was down, I think about 40%, including everybody in Kering, so that's Balenciaga, Saint Laurent. So accumulative, the company was down about 40%, which is crazy, you guys. I even saw that like Saint Laurent was permanently decreasing some of their prices on their classic bags. That didn't get a lot of press, but I found that really interesting, like purposefully like decreasing the prices on their luxury items. I just found that interesting to kind of like level the market of luxury shopping. I know like back then when I would look up bags, you used to only need like $1,800 to get like a fully leather Dior bag, and now a leather bag from Dior costs you like no less than $6,000. It's just insane, you guys. Because luxury right now is so unachievable, I just think it breeds ground for duping and kind of like cheap thrills. You know, you'll see people unboxing like Celine hair clips that were $600, but like the average consumer doesn't know to think that like, oh, if I just saved $600 more, I could get a pair of Celine shoes, because they just see like, oh, I have the $600 in my hand right now, I need to use that for a cheap thrill. So whether that's a designer perfume, designer lipstick, or that's a hair clip, or that's a necklace, you know? It just breeds the behavior of spending all your money on a cheap thrill because you feel like eventually you won't ever be able to afford the real thing, which might be a designer pair of shoes or a Chanel handbag, you know? So in terms of dupes versus luxury, I mean, there is a dupe for everything right now. If there was a black lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury, you know, MAC would put out the same lipstick that is only $8 versus like the $40 one. We are always on the hunt right now to find everything for less, and we're ruining the kind of like creative vision of people's designs. Like for example, Mirror Palais, they complain that like Shein will just take their exact dress, literally will take the exact design and make it for like $18. I mean, like, come on. I see some of these prices that are on Shein's website or Zara's website, especially when they go on sale, and you can just tell there is no way any of these pieces were made sustainably or were made fair trade. It is just physically impossible. If the designer in Mirror Palais is telling you that it costs $200 to make a good quality dress, how is there like a $58 dress at Zara, you guys? Like, that has not been made sustainably. I'll say it, there's probably someone in that factory making cents and working all day to be able to make that dress. And to me, that makes me really sad. I just think this is all like a 360 problem. Luxury is at the top, right? So we can't afford luxury anymore. So we go to mid-tier brands like Jacquemus, you know, Marc Jacobs, Mara Hoffman. We don't want to justify the prices for those brands because we know at Zara you can get pretty much the same look. So then the mid-tier brands have to discount their stuff to be able to get people to buy it at a lower price. They don't make money. People at Zara, Shein, and all H&M, they are making their money, but the mid-tier brands aren't because people don't see they're worth enough to buy it full price, so they buy it on sale. They don't make any money, and then, you know, like all these brands that are shutting down, they have no money, so they have to shut down. It's actually really sad, you guys, and the fashion industry is in such disarray. Like, I even know that if I go to COS and I see a blazer or I saw like a leather coat that was $1,000 at COS, and I was like, I would rather spend maybe $1,000 on a sale like Totem leather jacket that on sale would be $800 versus its $1,600 price. You know what I mean? It's just not a good setting for everybody, especially when I feel like shoppers aren't exactly smart. You can't expect every single shopper to shop sustainably and to shop smart. All they're doing is, okay, I have a night out tonight. The theme party is pink. Say they're going to a theme party and the theme is pink. They are just gonna run to Zara and buy the first pink thing that they're gonna see. They're never gonna wear it again. They'll probably throw it out. I think we need to be able to allow mid-tier brands to be successful. I think discounting is a big issue of why a lot of brands are losing profit. They just resort automatically to discounting. You know, you see luxury brands that have held their weight, like for example, Celine to me, Prada, Miu Miu. Miu Miu is one of those brands that like brands would kill to be in their like business model. You know, I feel like Miu Miu sells clothing more than accessories, and like Hermes sells clothing a lot, and I feel like a lot of brands are like trying to be like them. I think if shoppers can become a little bit more smart and maybe buy less but buy better. So instead of buying a $49 white dress from Old Navy, maybe if everybody can just do a little bit of research and buy a $350 dress from Sandro that will last you 3 to 4 years. I think that's like a smarter choice. I know a lot of people don't value spending $400 on clothing like I do. If you guys have seen some of the money that I spent on clothing, you'd be like, okay, like, are you okay? I know a lot of people don't value the prices of clothing like that, but I think that's like a well solution. If everybody just starts to buy less, if brands maybe produce less, and there is less waste to throw out, or there is less merchandise to put on sale at the end of the season because you've sold through it. I think maybe that's like a really great start. Guys, let me know what you guys thought of this topic. I know I threw a lot of information at you guys, but I just wanted to share how I'm feeling about this topic because I saw all this stuff in the news and it just got me thinking about like pretty much the fashion industry is like pretty screwed in my opinion. I think the pandemic is kind of highlighting all the problems that is happening in the industry. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the end of these clothing brands. Especially in the UK, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of announcements coming by the end of the year of these brands just needing to close because there's absolutely no way that they can even run them. I feel like one of them is Dilara Findikoglu. I mean, she skipped a season to be able to like recalibrate her business. Y Project skipped last season's runway show to be able to like recalibrate the business. I know like that couturier's name with the shoes, and like a lot of people wear their shoes. I think he is closing it too. He just filed a Chapter 11 bankruptcy in France to be able to like maybe get one last chance to do it. Alexander Vauthier skipped last season because I think he's on the brink of shutting down as well. It's sad. We have like all this great talent and it's just sad that like we can't nurture that because people are either shopping at Shein or people are either shopping at Chanel. And Chanel is one of those brands I've heard that, I mean, we saw the report where they're up like 22% in ready to wear. Apparently they can't even keep stuff in stock. They just like get it and everybody just like buys it. It's your prerogative to spend what money you have, but like it just got me thinking and it just made me really basically worried for the state of the fashion industry. So I'm going to be doing my part and kind of just try and shop a little bit better and smarter. But let me know what you guys thought of this topic. I know this week's was a little bit shorter, but I really wanted to discuss this with you guys. So please leave in the comments what you thought. If you guys kind of like this kind of like discussion, let me know what you guys think and I can do another one for you guys. Again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing and I will see you guys next week. Peace.